The RV Show USA. Start living the RV
Coming
dream
up, I'm going to
today.
ask one of the country's top RV dealers a question that might be uncomfortable for many RV dealers to answer. I'm going to ask you, why is it the best time to buy an RV at an RV show? And then I'm going to ask you why it's the worst time to buy at an RV show. So I know you are the most honest RV dealer in the state of Texas, probably in the country. Why is it the best time and why is it not so good?
You get good deals and better deals at the RV shows. Yes. Do you always? No. So, we like to say, hey, it's on sale. At my dealerships, to be honest with you, because I only got one or actually two around the Houston area that goes in the Houston RV show. But we run a sale, same prices at all 9 locations during those show times and during the Austin show, during the Dallas show. So I run the exact same prices. So I wouldn't say that overall in the big scheme of things that go into an RV show and buying that you get a much better deal.
Oftentimes, I think people go into these RV shows and we feel we're excited and that there's a lot of stuff going on around us and we can make a mistake. But if the prices are kind of held like at your stores throughout all the show season, I can slow down, relax, take a deep breath, and go to one of your other locations and not feel that pressure that might cause me to make a mistake.
Exactly. 100% accurate.
What are some of the mistakes that people make? I think you already covered some of this, that manifest themselves, especially the newbies, the first-time buyer, that manifest themselves shortly after they buy or use the RV 2 or 3 times. What are those mistakes that you see that get manifested?
Biggest thing is the price. And when you buy it and you realize that it's not the right RV, these things, they don't appreciate. So to trade it in, if you go right back in to trade that brand new RV and that you find out didn't work, it's a big hit.
Right.
That's it. Monetarily is the biggest reason you don't want to do that. And I will say, I've been doing this a long time. I've sold a lot of RVs where I've actually went through A to Z on this is exactly what you want. And the biggest mistake I have seen in my career is that people say, we don't want that much space. We don't need that much space. And so they buy small. So they buy the 25-footer. Well, they come back in 2 months and they're like, you were right. It's too
But
small.
now they're stuck. They're buried unless they want to lose their shirt.
That's exactly it. So you really, and this goes back to reviews, buy some from people that you can trust.
Cannon, you got to admit, a lot of these reviews I read across many, many dealers, they just, to me, maybe I'm just too skeptical. They reek of just, they're fake. I don't know how else to put them. They're fake. It's like they got their Uncle Billy to go and write a bunch of good stuff about them.
Look, actually, I think they're hiring companies like, I don't know where, but some of these, some of my competitors used to be 2.1. Now they're 4.5. And it's like, but you can sniff them out. If you read reviews and you see 2 lines and they kind of are repetitive and they, you know what I'm saying? They mention certain names. What they do is they get employees list and they have somebody doing that. Ours are not fake. you can see we have those people that come along and blow me up as well. I have some people that, and sometimes it's our fault. We're absolutely human as well, and we drop the ball. The one thing with us is when we drop the ball, we're gonna pick up the phone, get back on it with you, and make sure that it's right.
What suggestions do you have for me if I want to, if I know I'm going to buy in terms of financing? Is there anything that I should do before I even attend the show? Contact my credit union, my bank?
Believe this or not, a lot of people show up and they're like, oh, I have the greatest credit in the world. And then they get mad when we tell them they don't. And so I think the biggest thing you need to understand is where your credit is. And absolutely. If you have a great relationship with a bank, pick up the phone, call the bank, call the credit union, see what their terms are. Most of the time, the problem is with your own credit union or your own bank is that, they're limited on terms, where I have, 15 to 20 banks that will go 10, 12, even 15 years because we do it every day. So I'd like to say that my financial resources are a little better. But you still kind of want to know where you stand. So the biggest thing
if you have stellar credit, you know you have stellar credit, probably getting your own financing and taking that with you, at least knowing what the parameters are, the rates, the term, taking that with you, that knowledge to an RV show is a really good idea.
It's a good idea, but you're now I will say that is at the show you can get a better rate because the banks know the show's going on. Now, just like I said earlier, I mean, I do the same business with those same banks, so I make sure I get those same rates during the shows that I'm not in. So you can, but the biggest thing is again, when you bring that your own bank, they don't do the business that we do as RV dealers. So we're actually going to get you better terms, longer terms than your own bank. This
question just popped in my mind. How does an RV dealership like RV Station? You are not one of the big giant players out there, in the industry. Mm-hmm. How are you able to compete against those monsters that are selling thousands? And I mean, so many, it makes your head spin. How are you able to do that with dealers that are so much bigger than you are?
Someone said to me the other day, a great friend of mine, one of my mentors actually, I said, I'm never going to be X or I'm never going to be this. And he said to me, well, bigger's not always better. Better is better. And I'm like, wow, that's powerful. And that's really how we want to operate as RV Station. So like, we're not going to sell the most. Will we ever sell the most? No. But do I want to take better care of the customers after the sale and win you a second and third and fourth time and slowly cut into those bigger guys' business by when they go there one time, they have a bad experience, then they do their homework. I think this goes back to your number one question. Then they come to us. But we want to build a relationship with you forever. So I think that's the biggest, that's how I'm going to compete for years down the road.
Buying an RV is a big deal. It really is. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And if you want to stay a happy camper for a long, long time, here's what I suggest. Look at the buying process as like a three-legged stool. Each one of the three legs is equally important. You've got to buy the right RV. Don't buy a cheap piece of junk. Buy a quality RV. Equally important, buy from a really good RV dealer, somebody that you have checked out, someone you vetted. So you got to buy a quality RV from a quality RV dealer, and that dealer needs to give you a reasonable and fair out the door price, the entire price, the out the door price. Quality RV, quality dealer, good, fair, reasonable out the door price. You do that, you will be a happy camper. If you found this video to be helpful, if you would, give us a like. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel and turn your notifications on. And if you'd like to learn more about RV Station, Texas's #1 and I believe most loved RV dealership, their contact info is below. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. I'll catch you next time.